In this video, we're going to be covering the information that is on pages Word 30 and 31, which is entitled Use the Office Clipboard. The Office Clipboard allows you to collect text and graphics from files created in any Office program and insert them into your Word document. It can hold up to 24 items, and unlike the System Clipboard, the items on the Office Clipboard can be viewed. To display the Office Clipboard, or we can refer to it as just the clipboard, you simply click the launcher in the Clipboard group on the Home tab. You add items to the Office Clipboard using the cut and copy commands. The last item you collect is always added to both the System Clipboard and the Office Clipboard. If we take a look at step 1 now, we're going to click on the Launcher button in the Clipboard group on the Home tab. And of course, the launcher buttons are always located in the lower right-hand side of a specific group. So we see here's the clipboard launcher, here's the font launcher, paragraph launcher, and so forth. And if you put your mouse pointer over this item that's on here, you will get a screen tip that tells you a little bit about the launcher. So when we click on this, we notice that the clipboard, or the Office Clipboard, opens up in the clipboard pane. And you'll also notice that it contains the travel luncheon item that you copied in our last video. Now you can set the clipboard pane to open automatically when you cut or copy two items consecutively or back to back by clicking the options on the clipboard pane and selecting the Show Office Clipboard Automatically. And the options button is at the bottom of this clipboard task pane. And when we click on that, we see that there's the option right there to show Office Clipboard automatically. If you would like to turn that on, you may. Otherwise, you can just leave it there. Step 2 tells us that we want to select the sentence, San Diego Union Tribune Travel Editor, and we're going to select that entire sentence, and which we need to include the space after the period, and that's in the last paragraph. So it's the first sentence of the last paragraph. We're going to select the sentence, including the period and the space afterwards. Once we do that, we want to right-click this selected text, and then we want to click on our cut on the menu that opens up. And now you'll notice that that sentence that we had has been cut to our clipboard task pane. Step 3 tells us that we now want to select the sentence A Detailed Schedule Is, and we also want to include the paragraph mark at the very end of the sentence. And of course that's also in the last paragraph where we just cut our last sentence from. So we're going to select this sentence here, including this paragraph mark. Then we're going to right click this item and we're going to cut it as well. Now the clipboard displays the items that you cut or copied. The icon next to each item indicates the items are from a Word document. So if you see a little page there with a little W, it tells you that that came from a Word document. As you go through and you use more of the programs, you'll notice that it will use the little icon on there to tell you what program it came from. Now the last item collected is displayed at the top of the clipboard pane. As new items are collected, the existing items move down the clipboard. So we notice that the travel luncheon was our first item, and now it has moved down to the third item where we have cut two new items. Step 4 tells us that we want to place the insertion point at the end of the second paragraph. And this is after the word quarter and period. So here we have our second paragraph. We scroll up a little bit. We can place our insertion point between the period and the little paragraph mark. Once we have that, we want to click the San Diego Union Tribune item on the clipboard. So once we have that and we click on it, we notice that when we click any item, or this item in particular on the clipboard, it pastes the item into the document at the location of the insertion point. Now the items remain on the clipboard until either 1, you delete them, or 2, you close all open Office programs. Now, if you do add a 25th item to the clipboard, that first item that you collected is going to be deleted. So you do want to keep an eye on how many items you do have in the clipboard. And on our next step, step 5, it tells us that we want to place the insertion point at the end of the third paragraph. And so we want to place it between the period and the paragraph mark. Once we have our insertion point at the end of the third paragraph, we're going to click on a detailed schedule, that sentence there in our clipboard, and we'll notice that it has now been copied, or pasted I should say, into our document. Next, on step 6, it tells us that we want to select the fourth paragraph, which begins with the sentence, "This is the first event." And we also want to include the paragraph mark afterwards. So we want to select this entire paragraph here. Then we're going to right click and we're going to cut. You also notice down here at the lower right hand side of your screen, you'll notice as well that there's a little box that pops up that tells you how many items you have in your clipboard group. Once we have this selected and then cut, we're going to place the insertion point at the beginning of the third paragraph before the word "our," or "our," I should say. Then next, we're going to click on the Paste button in the Clipboard group on the Home tab. And now we have inserted in this paragraph that we have just last cut. Then it tells us that we also want to press our backspace key to make this one large paragraph. Next, on step 8, it tells us that we want to place the insertion point at the end of the third paragraph after where it says questspecialtytravel.com. Once we have that, we want to press the delete key on your keyboard twice. And what this is doing is that the two paragraph symbols, or the two blank lines between the third and fourth paragraphs, have been deleted. So that is a useful tool and another reason why you would actually like to use the formatting marks while writing your documents. Next, on step 9, it tells us that we want to click the Show Hide button on the paragraph group. Now, of course, go ahead and compare your document to this document here. We've done most of our work in the body of the document here. And of course, many Word users prefer to work with formatting marks on it all the times. Now, that's where you may want to experiment to see which method that you do prefer. Step 10 tells us that we want to click the Clear All button on the clipboard pane to remove the items from the clipboard. So if we go up here, we see we have Paste All, and here's our Clear All. And we want to click on that, and that will empty out the clipboard. Then next, we want to click on the Close button here on the clipboard pane, and that is going to close out the clipboard. And then on your keyboard, you want to press your Control key plus your Home key, and that is going to move the insertion point to the top of the document. Now, of course, if you were wanting to delete an individual item from the clipboard instead of deleting them all like we did previously, you can click on the list arrow next to the item, and then you can click on Delete. Now, if you ever had wanted to copy and move items between documents, or between two open documents, you can use the clipboard to copy and move items between the documents. And to do this, you need to open both documents and the clipboard pane. With multiple documents open, you can copy or cut an item from one document, then you can switch to the other document and paste the item. Of course, to switch between open documents, you can point to the Word icon on your taskbar, which would be right down here, on there, and you can click the document you want to appear in the document window. Another way that you can do that as well is that you can use the Alt and Tab key on your keyboard to switch between open programs. Of course, you can also display more than one document at the same time by clicking the Arrange All button or the View Side by Side button in the Windows group on the View tab, and those buttons are located in here. And of course, if you had another open document, these would be active where you could click on these. And that concludes the information that's on pages Word 30 and 31 about using the Office Clipboard. In the next video, we're going to be finding and replacing text.